Grand Prix day here at Addington. Group 1 races. There's now 8 Group 1 races for the rest of the card, and it's a ripping card. Catching up with one of the younger generation, I suppose, if you like, of harness racing here in New Zealand. Ellie Barron, firstly, thank you for joining me.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me.
I got a little tip-off that it was your first drive in a Group 1 today, but then you shut me down. Unfortunately, it's your second.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to drive a horse called Sweet Diamond on show day, and the 2-year-old fillies race, she ran 4th. It was a real thrill, yeah.
And so how long have you been driving for?
This is my 5th season. So
Fifth season. How many winners?
70-something.
Good. Yeah, that's good. Look, it's funny because I just did a chat with Wilson House and Devon yesterday. I think Devon's at 14, Wilson's at about 8. So it must be a little bit frustrating, I suppose, when you've got to get past the winning clause first to be able to drive in those. Probably makes it rewarding, though, once you do get past it, I would imagine, for yourself and that.
Yeah, absolutely. When I hit my 15 winners, sort of driving on a Premier night wasn't even on my radar. I drove a lot in Southland, so we didn't have many Premier days or anything, so I was just lucky enough to get there, and then had my first winner on a Premier meeting last year for Graham Anderson and Mike Love, so it was a real thrill. And
it is a thrill. They're great days to be a part of. There's a good buzz about the crowd and the people here today, isn't there?
Absolutely. Even in the rating race that I was just in, it's just as exciting as being in, and not as probably as those bigger races, but the atmosphere makes it all the more better.
Driving 2 for Stonewall today. Do you work for Stonewall?
Yes, I do. I've been working there for a year.
You enjoy it?
Yeah, I do. Thank you. They're a great professional outfit to work for. Yeah.
How's the driving going? And I suppose, where do you want to get the driving to?
Yeah, my driving I've only got one more year in the driving, so I was hoping to get to 100 winners, but every winner I'm taking is a good one. If I don't make 100, that's all good. But yeah, no, just to keep doing as best as I can and driving winners when I can.
One more year in the driving, why is that?
Because over here I only get 6 years as a junior. That's just the current rules at the moment. So it's a bit of a rigmarole, it's all different, but if you hit 100 winners in 6 years you get out earlier, or if you're over 30. But yeah, one more year anyway for me.
But you can continue to drive, you just won't be a junior?
Yeah, so I'll just lose my junior and I'll just be an open driver after that, yeah.
That's okay. I was thinking, well, that's a bit harsh. That's it. If you don't get to a criteria, I'm thinking, geez, that makes it very harsh. You're driving the filly, one of the fillies in the 2-year-old fillies. I think the stable's got 4. Might have had 5, but got 4 left. Am I right?
Yeah, we had 5. Unfortunately, my drive Sweet Diamond she had a wee heart fib during the week, so she's not here today. But I'm lucky enough to pick up a drive on this big girl, Secret Delight. She's drawn the pole. I think she's a wee bit out of her depth slightly. Obviously, there's some really classy fillies, Mark's and a couple of our ones. But hey, we're in the right place on the fence, and if we can take some shortcuts, you never know. Mark's
filly's a beautiful filly, Millwood Nike. But like on paper, it looks like he crosses you sit on his back, and then you just got to hope you can outdash him up the sprint lane.
Oh, that's right. I think we'll be doing our darndest just to hold us back early. I followed him on show day. I've never followed a horse that just took a gap the way that horse did, and my filly was nice enough, horse, but it left me behind by 5 lengths within 2 strides. It was very impressive just to be out there with a horse like that.
You're related to the Barrons. Your dad is? Clark, I knew, but Tony and Ken were both your uncles, and it's a bit of a famous name here in New Zealand, and a bit different too, like it's not a dun or a butt or a purd, and it's one of the different branches, but does that help?
It certainly helped me when I started. It was hard realise people started to give me drives probably because of my last name, and Dad had driven winners, or Ken or Tony, but it sort of was hard to live up to that. Obviously my uncle and my dad have both driven 1,000 winners, and growing up I thought everyone did that. I thought that was just normal. I was used to Dad driving to winners at a meeting, and now I realise how hard it is to drive a winner, let alone drive 1,000. But yeah, as I said, I'd love to get to 100. That would just be amazing, but if I don't get it, it's all cool too.
I think it's great. I love the way the girls, if you like, or the ladies here in New Zealand are so well represented, if you like, juniors to seniors. It's brilliant. I think you guys are, it's cool. It must be cool for you guys to be a part of, such a growing army, if you like, of lady drivers.
Absolutely. Growing up there wasn't a lot of women drivers. I don't remember when I was younger, women drivers driving with Dad when Dad was going real good. And now obviously we've got drivers like Natalie and Sam up there. We're with the big boys driving group winners every week, so it's obviously in the juniors I think we're taking over now over here, which is pretty cool, the girls versus the boys, but as it should be, I
think in the Australian Driving Championships, which are on in Australia next week, I was talking to Sarah, I think she said there's 6-3 or something like that, to ladies, so it's great. I think it's awesome, and I think as an industry we need to, I suppose, nurture it and grow it and make sure we make it accessible for ladies and a great place for ladies to not only work but compete and compete on an even playing field. Thanks for joining me. Well done. You did a great job, because I don't even know if you're necessarily that keen. You've been a bit coy prior to me hitting record, but thank you very much. Well done for everything you do, and good luck later on today.
Thanks very much. Cheers.